it's Christy here with Blooms and Brushstrokes, and today we are going to do our final holiday greeting card. So I did a little practice one. I think we'll do it a little bit differently than this, but something similar to that. So it's a wreath. Yeah, so I wasn't sure about how it was going to turn out, so I wanted to do a little trial one first. So I have mine now drawn out like so. I have already put masking fluid down on it so that it can white spots so that we can still have the hollies and the berries and then the balls on the wreath looking true, as well as the bow. So what we're going to need today to do this card is obviously your cardstock, whatever you are using. I didn't even tape this down because of how I want to blow the ink around. We're going to need to be able to move it. So I'm also using the Mungyo paint set today. And the reason I'm doing that, I got it all wet, so I don't want to tip it, but oh crap, is because I love the pink in there. What have I got going on here? They have bright pink, so I want to use that today. So that's why I chose to use that one. And then you're also going to need your Micron Archival Ink pen. And then we're going to use some probably silver metallic ink as well. And then of course a variety of brushes. So I have my number 8 Aqua Elite, the ones that I always have, my number 1 script paintbrush, and then I have just whatever I use here on the side, as I always do. So if you guys want to get a wreath drawn out, it's a very simple drawing. I'll put it up there. I already have the masking fluid down. That's why part of it's going to look a little bit yellowy. But if you want to get your wreath drawn and then your balls and your hollies and your bow on it, and then let's get cracking. So yeah, I think we're ready to roll. As long as you guys have everything and you're ready to go, let's get painted. All right, you guys, so we have our wreath all drawn out. We've got our masking fluid down there. Mine's just got a couple that are not quite dry, but that's not going to matter. Okay, so I'm going to start off with using my number 8. So I guess to start with, we're going to do the wreath part first. So that's where we're going to be blowing the green, and we're going to put that down first, and then we'll do the detail after that. So we're going to use this number 8 Aqua Elite round brush, whatever you want to use. We're going to just go around the wreath with some water. On my previous one, I did it pretty fine, but I think I want to go a little bit thicker with the line. And put down quite a bit of water, you guys, because we want to get enough paint and everything on there to be able to blow it around. So we want to have it pretty wet. My masking fluid is going to keep all those balls and berries and holly leaves white. Okay, I think that's enough. So we're going to do a few different colors, and this is the kind of fun part, you guys. So we're just using a few different colors of green. Pick what you got on your palette. This one has a bunch of different greens, so I'm just dropping down dots around. With that green, I'm going to go in with, something a little bit deeper. Put a few dots of that down. And then maybe something really bright. And you can just see it bloom into the other greens. Oops, I kind of forgot to do up here. Awesome. I love the look of that so far. Just gonna... I know we've got a lot of green everywhere, but I'm just going to find a kind of a turquoisey kind of bluey green. I'm just going to dab a little bit of that in there in a few spots. Now you don't want this to totally dry, but we want it to soak into the paper a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our straw. I think I forgot to say that you're going to need this straw. Maybe I did say so. You're going to need your straw. This is just like one of those reusable straws. And we're going to blow out first. So like a deep breath of air and then a good blow. We're going to spin it around to get that roundness. Like so. There's not a ton of color left, so I'm actually going to go dab down a bit more green. Whoa, pardon me. Just to add a little bit more going in towards the center. So go pick up some green color and just dabble it down. All right, so now we're blowing into the middle. So you have to be careful not to blow too hard off the edge. Sorry, there we go. And we're gonna blow. And you're just gonna spin it and blow into the center. Ooh, I like that. That's gonna be cool looking. There's just this spot up here. Sorry guys, there's just a spot up here where I think I could add just a teeny bit more. So I just put a little dab down there and I just blew that off. Okay. So obviously now at this point in time, we're going to totally let it dry because we're going to go and then rub off the masking fluid. So this has to be 100% dry. Otherwise you're going to end up smudging. Look at, I got another one over here. That's hilarious. You're just going to end up smudging the paint. And so then it's just going to become a bit of a mess, which you don't want. This is your final holiday greeting that we're going to do this year. So you don't want to mess it up. The cool thing about this one too, you guys, is that you can do the wreath in any colors and you don't even need to add different colors of green. You can just add in, you know, if you want to do just one solid green color, or if you want to use blues, or if you want to use purples, or if you want to use pinks. That's the nice thing about these cards. It's so versatile. And I had somebody comment on one of them saying, I think it was on the one with the balls. They were saying, you know, they were going to do that one with a, like multiple times, but use different colors, which I think is amazing. And that's the nice thing about doing these. You don't have to stick with like the traditional colors that you would see, you know, green for the wreath. Well, you know, that's fairly traditional. So you can use a bunch of different colors. The balls, I'm going to use a bright pink, and then the berries are going to be a deep kind of reddy pink color. And then the bow in the previous one I did was red, but I'm actually going to stick with a pink bow to kind of keep it a little more cohesive. I didn't necessarily love the red bow. So we're going to take a break here, or I'm going to just hang tight while this dries. And once it's totally dry, we are going to rub off the masking fluid. We're all dry here now pretty much. Before we get going on though, I forgot to tell you guys about masking fluid. So this is a liquid rubber, and this is a Dollar Rounty is the brand, and this is what I use. I just picked this up at Michael's. I've had it forever. It's actually pretty old, but it still works. So I'm just gonna use it. I mean, I hardly need any, so it lasts forever. That's what that is. So that's what the yellowness is down here. I just taped this down because then it stays in focus in my camera view. So I taped it down at the top just for that purpose. So anyways, in order to get the masking fluid off, you just go and lightly, You can just rub it off with your finger, just ever so gently, and just brush it off your page. And then it keeps whatever is underneath of it looking stark white or whatever color it is. Like we could have painted it all green and then put masking fluid on top and then done a bunch of different colors, and then they would have stayed green. So it'll stay whatever color is underneath. In this case, it's white, the background color. So yeah, we're just gonna go rub that off. Now that we're all dried up. Might have been a little something wet there, but that's okay. The other thing too is that sometimes the paint gets on top of the masking fluid, it can stay wet, so you just have to be pretty careful. So first things first, we're gonna start with our bow. I want the bow to be pink. The same nice, beautiful, bright pink. If you can see the tip of my, it's hard to see, but it's just like a bright, I'll bring this over, hopefully it doesn't drip. It's this bright pink one on the end. Opera 814, this bright beauty there. So we're just gonna get quite a bit of pink on there. And we're just gonna go and drop that down. Follow your bow shape. Can add in a bit more pink in there. I want it to be bright. Looks good. If we want to go over it one more time once it's dry, we can do that to add just a little bit more detail into there, but that's all good. So now we're going to go and do our balls, and I'm going to use a couple different colors of pink for the balls. So I'm going to use the Opera, which I just showed you guys, and then I'm going to use the cold pink. So Opera and cold pink to do the balls. I want them to be bright as well, so I'm actually going to use the wet brush onto dry paper, just because I want them to be very vibrant. Oh, that's Tex eating in the background there. You don't have to do every single one because I'm still just using that Opera pink. So we're just jumping over a couple here because we do want to have some of those cold pinks in there as well. So I'm just going to move some of that color a little bit just to give that look of brightness and shine. And then we're going to go use the cold pink now. Same thing. Wet on dry. I'm going to do this big one, that color. I guess this little guy too. Beauty, I think those look great. So then we're gonna go in and do our green leaves of the hollies now. So similar to the wreath, I'm going to go put down the water first. I'm going to kind of outline it and leave a little bit of white in the leaf. But we're putting down clean or just water first. And so similar, we're just going to go put a little bit of that light green, quite vibrant down. Just let it bloom around a bit. We're going to do the same over here. We are going to be outlining with our Micron pen, so don't worry if they kind of look a bit wonky. We're going to add those details in once we get our Micron pen out. So don't stress too much about how perfect they look. Obviously you can tell this is going to be a bit of a, you know, abstract painting, so you don't have to get too worried about every little detail, how things are going to look exactly. We just need to get some paint down and some water down. So in these ones here where they're bright, I want to go add in some dark green into there as well. And just let it kind of flow. And then we're doing the same over with these with the light green down. Wow, did that dry up already? Or did I just not do that one? You kind of got to move a little bit quickly because you don't want the water to totally dry up. This one, I don't think I put water on it. Perfect. And then we can go in with the dark green. So for the bright green, I am using the yellow green. And then for the dark green, I'm going to use this deep green 830. And we're just dropping a little bit of that in there, leaving some of it white. There's a little ball here that I forgot to do. So we're just gonna use that bright pink. Go in there. Just like so. Awesome. So we're gonna let those dry up quite a bit before we go in and tackle the, oops, I'm bumping that, our little berries on the hollies, just because we don't want them to bleed too much into the green leaves. It doesn't matter if they do a little bit, but we don't want to do, like, we don't want it to look too muddy. So for those ones, I'm going to use, for the berries, we're going to use this 811 permanent rose, I think is what it is. It says perm rose. I don't know really what that means or really what that is. It's been so long since I put those down there. So that is the 5th one in from the end. And we want lots of red on there. We're going to go in, oh, not too much water though. We don't want it to be making a big mess. So we want to have control with our berries. And we're just leaving a little bit of that, white out. That gives the look of having, like, you know, light hitting the berry. Same as with the balls. You know, they just look a little bit more multi-dimensional as opposed to just one-dimensional. So just go get your berries done. Awesome. I think that looks really, really good, you guys. I'm going to go over the bow just one more time. This time I'm going to use a little bit of that cold pink mixed with that bright pink. The opera. And don't forget, we're going to use our Micron pen to give us detail. I think that looks good enough. So at this point, we want everything to dry really, really well again. So you don't want to see any shininess from your paint there. We can start with the balls, and then we'll move to our leaves and then our berries. In the previous one, I had outlined the wreath, and I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to do the balls, the berries, and the leaves, and the bell, and the bow. I might have been calling it a bell the whole time. We're going to start over here where they're really dry. And I'm just going over them a few times. They don't have to be totally perfect. You can kind of go a little bit out of the lines with them. Okay, that looks good. So we can focus on these leaves now. I'm going over them a couple times and we'll throw in a little bit of detail up the center. I'm going over each of them twice. I just like the way that looks. So, and you can add the detail in, go over those as twice as well. If it looks too busy, just go over it once. But I like the busy look of it. You have to be careful because the bow is very wet. And we're just going to wait on our bow to finish up. While that's drying, we can get our Winsor Newton silver ink out. So I'm going to splatter ink on it once we're all said and done. But what I want to do with some of this ink is go around some of the balls. Whoopsie, I bumped that. And just add that little bit of shine. So I'm just doing a couple lines around the ball. That's just adding that little bit of shimmer. which is beautiful. And then we're going to splatter it on once we get our bow done. So we're going to let our bow dry and then we'll do our splatters. I forgot to do the little berries. So we got to go and do our little outlines around the berries. Easy peasy. There's still a little bit of wet on this, but we can go around the outer edge of the bow and just give it a little outline. That looks great the way that it is. So now for the fun part, we're going to go in with so we're going to get our #1 script paintbrush and we are going to put on the silver now. And so we're just going to splatter it on. I'm going to concentrate on splattering close to the wreath as possible, the most condensed amount, and then as we get further out, lighten it up a bit. So by that I mean we're going to get a big glob on there, and we're going to splatter paint or splatter ink closest to the wreath and the balls and everything. So we're going to get, we want that to be busy with the splatter. Whoop, that was a good one. It's okay if there's big ones, small ones. The more organic, the better, I find. And then we're going to lightly splatter paint as we go outward. Ooh, that looks cool, you guys. Okay. Put your initial on it wherever you so desire, if you do that. And then that's going to do it for that one. I'm going to just lift this up here. It's going to take a while for this one to dry up because of the big splatters of silver ink, but that's okay. I'm not rushing for this to be, it can sit here and dry all day as long as my cat doesn't step into it. And then we're going to just let that be. Well, that is going to do it for our Christmas card tutorials this year. I think that was a pretty fun way to end off. It kind of was something new to me. I haven't, other than a little practice one that I did before, haven't done anything, quite like that. Of course, me tipping it there. I got the silver ripping down the page. That's okay though. We're just gonna let that dry up and do its thing. Anyway, that's going to do it for us, you guys. Thank you so much for joining in all the fun Christmas card tutorials. I really enjoy doing them because they're quick, they're fun, they're colorful, they're joyful. So every year I will likely do more of them. Ones that everybody can do, make it simple so that we can all enjoy some really festive greeting cards. So if there's anything that you guys have loved, haven't loved, anything you want to see more of, please let me know. We're going to be starting off the new year. I am actually going to take a break from tutorials. I will probably do a short here and there, but I'm going to take a break from tutorials until the new year now. So you guys will have a little bit of a break from seeing me. But know that we'll be back in the new year with some amazing tutorials. I might likely just even do one. I'm not even going to say that, but I was thinking maybe I'd have one for you guys for New Year's Day. Perhaps I will. We'll see how it goes the next couple weeks, but it's very busy at the hair salon, and I'm just trying to make it through the holiday hustle here. So if there's anything you guys want to see in the new year, please comment and let me know. If there's a flower, obviously you guys know I stick to flowers predominantly, and foliage, like if you want to do leaves or you want to do petals or you want to anything like that, please let me know, and we will be sure to get those tutorials up for you guys. So thank you for everything. Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you guys enjoy your holiday season with friends, family, loved ones, all the good stuff, and fill your bellies with all the yumminess. And I look forward to checking in with you guys in the new year. So thank you again for watching Blooms and Brushstrokes this year. I can't wait to see what next year has in store for us.